Hi everyone, I'm Kelly McKenna and I am presenting on my master's dissertation work at the University of Exeter, which focused on black and dark burnished wares that were produced from the late Iron Age through the Roman occupation in Britain. The aim of this research was to determine the finishing technique used by potters of Roman Britain by replicating those high gloss surfaces, which are archetypal to those wares of the period, by experimenting with burnishing and polishing applications. The probable processes in producing those surfaces were tested on reproduction moquette vessels using 2 types of burnished materials, 4 burnishing tools, and 3 types of post-fire polishes. By examining burnished material success, burnishing tool performance, and post-fire polish application, the best combination of these 3 elements had produced the highest surface glosses achievable with materials available. 48 test tiles and 30 wheel-thrown moquette vessels of earthenware clay were created for this experiment in order to test those 3 surface application elements. The background research and pilot tests done prior to the experiment helped narrow down the burnishing tools used to 4, which were a burnishing stone, polished wood, a ceramic burnishing stone, which was created specifically for this experiment, and polished bone. The first test was comparing the application and functional success of slip versus terra sigillata as a greenware burnished material. Briefly, for this experiment, slip is a homogeneous slurry of clay and water, while terra sigillata is a mixture of clay, water, and a deflocculant to leviate clay particles by size over time, making it a more refined material to burnish. Subtractive and additive designs were applied to each tile and then divided into 2 groups, one for slip burnished and one for terra sigillata burnished. From there, both groups were evenly divided up for each of the 4 burnishing tools applied. Completed burnished greenware was bisqued in a kiln to a low firing temperature of cone 017 to remain porous while partially vitrifying the clay body. Firing the pottery to this porous state prepared them for the final firing outdoors. This approach, from design layout and tool application to burnishing and bisquing, was repeated for the 30 moquette vessels. The final part of the experiment included applying a post-fire polish after bonfiring. Separated into 2 bonfires, test tiles were fired first, followed by the moquette vessels. The test tile post-fire polish applications eliminated lard as polish, leaving the 2 best polishes to be applied to the moquettes. Half of the vessels were polished with terra sigillata done prior to the firing, and half were polished with beeswax post-firing. Once the fire was successfully established with healthy flames, it was smothered with a covering so the pottery was exposed to a reduced atmosphere, creating blackened and dark surfaces. A large volume of data came out of these firings and indicated that high-gloss surfaces were achievable with this technique. The combination of terra sigillata burnished material, a burnishing stone, and beeswax post-fire polish produces a surface sheen of the highest gloss, characteristic to the Romano-British pottery surfaces, suggesting this is a probable technique used in antiquity. This archaeological experiment required multiple disciplines and perspectives to produce the qualitative and quantitative results, and to more fully understand the interpretations drawn from those results. It was beneficial to have a potter's mindset and skills in order to produce the vessels that I needed for the experiment, as well as having a scientific and controlled experiment with minimal variables to narrow down and focus on what could have been a really applicable technique with probable materials for a potter of that period. And this concludes my presentation. A special thanks to those remarkable people who assisted me with my research and my firings, and I thank EXARC for this opportunity to briefly discuss my research, and I look forward to further discussions. Thank you.